Hello and welcome to what I think will be just a quick short video to show off this new Seiko Monster Special Edition. It's the latest one in this Save the Ocean range, and I think this one is quite special. There are not that many videos yet out there on YouTube, so I thought I'd just do this quick one. There's a couple, mostly by Thailand-based sellers. Those videos tend to be in Thai. While I do speak and understand reasonable Thai, I thought this would be good to do in English, and then maybe highlight some of the things that make this this watch really quite special. It's also the very first Monster model that I've owned. I have some other Seiko divers, so later on in the video I'll give some quick thoughts on what I think on the Monster range, which of course has been out for decades now. There's still a couple things that I think I wasn't actually expecting. Some good, some bad. You know, seeing lots of photos and videos on the internet is not quite the same as actually holding the thing in your hands. So with that, yeah, the main thing about this watch is really the beautiful dial, a nature-inspired dial. Seiko, of course, does a lot in sponsoring the Save the Ocean effort, and they've been doing for quite a while now. Some special edition models. This one I think might actually be the best of the lot. I especially like, I'm not sure if you can see this clearly, but the dial is just a beautiful sort of frosted, textured landscape, like an icy landscape, to which they've added as a final touch. Here on the left hand side, this little trail of tiny little feet, tiny little penguin feet, which I think yeah, is just magnificent. I especially like it that it's so understated. In most lighting conditions or from any kind of distance, you don't notice they're there. It's just that you know. And sometimes when the light hits it just so, then you see the little trail pop up. And I actually like it that it's a hint of nature without actually putting an animal on the dial. I mean, you can there's watches that have a shark on the dial, or you know, there's they put the whole diver dude on the dial, which is a bit it's a bit in your face. This one sort of hints at nature, or maybe even the disappearance of nature, right, with the animal not actually there, and just the little feet there. You could also notice that the trail actually stops at some point. Like, it starts off right there next to the chapter ring, but then the trail ends kind of abruptly at the 10 o'clock marker. So yeah, I think this is just beautiful, a little mysterious even. I think it's great. It's of course not the first, or you know, Seiko has done many watches that you know, pay homage to nature, that celebrate nature. It's not common to have it in a dive watch, as much as in their dressier watches. Although, of course, like any Seiko diver, it has the, let's see if you can see this, you know, there's the medallion on the back, the sort of the print that's inspired by the famous 19th century painting. It's not a painting, it's a print, I think. It's a woodblock print. Famous Japanese painting of a great wave. It's the wave of Kanagawa, and well, it's perhaps the most famous piece of Japanese art. And it also it centers the sea. It centers the power of the ocean. There's a huge wave there that actually dwarfs. In the original artwork, there is a picture of Mount Fuji in the background, and this huge wave you know, dwarfs the mountain and dwarfs the little fisherman in the frame. So I think that's very nice for a dive watch to pay tribute to nature in that way. It's of course almost any other actual dive watch by Seiko has it. Looking at the SKX here, it's actually a lot bigger here on the back of the SKX. So it kind of got a bit smaller over time, but you know, there it is. It's basically on any Seiko diver. What I like here also is that the actual image, the medallion, is polished, whereas the rest of the case back is a circular brushed surface. So that's very nice. So overall, I think both of those references, yeah, do a good job of paying tribute to nature. Then the rest of the watch, this being a special edition, there's the edition of the Cyclops magnifier, which some people don't like. I actually do like it. I think, you know, most famously Rolex models have a Cyclops. I think it does give a little bit extra. Also, as you can see, the light actually, you know, gets amplified a little bit. So it does even more, you know, playing with the light and leaving some refractions and highlights. So I think that's nice. The handset is brushed instead of polished, except for the second hand, which is brightly polished. I do kind of like the brushing pattern on the hands, and I also really like the updated in the latest version of the Monster, the hour hand, which used to be sort of divided in half, like very much an arrow shape, and now it's less. You know, there's no divider down the middle, and I think this actually looks better. So yeah, I'm overall yeah, very happy with this. Then some maybe some negative points. The bracelet, I think, is, well, it's nice because this is the same for all Monsters, of course. But again, I'm new to Monsters, so I'm only noticing this just now. Is that there's actually very nice brushing on most of the links, whereas the center part is brightly polished. So I think that actually makes it look very nice and upscale even. Yeah, very nice. It is rattly though. It is a lot more rattly than I expected, and even more rattly than some other watches that I thought actually had a similar bracelet, but turns out to be, well, similar but better. This is a BFK, Pepsi BFK, which has a similar sort of clasp. The clasp here, however, is a lot thicker. It's less rattly. Right, this one is it kind of feels a little bit more solid. It's also sort of maybe you know, bigger links. Whereas, you know, when you hear the name Monster, you think, oh, this is going to be big and huge and terrible, but it's actually not. The links are quite narrow, which again I think looks premium and looks nice. It is though rattlier. So, of course, there's plenty of aftermarket bracelets for these as well. Although, yeah, I do kind of like it. I ended up putting an aftermarket Strapcoat Oyster bracelet on the SKX, which looks fine. But I'm actually, I have to say, I'm also a fan of the original Jubilee bracelet that comes with the SKX, and which is also rattly, but it's also comfortable. So I kind of like the original bracelet on that as well. Back to the Monster, with the bezel action is it sounds a bit tinny. Not sure how well you can hear this, but it is a bit on the tinny side. I mean, it works, nothing wrong with it. Alignment could have been better. That's kind of a Seiko thing. I don't know, maybe it's Japanese wabi-sabi design, you know, where there's an intentional imperfection. Come to think of it, the little penguin feet on the left are kind of an intentional imperfection in the surface of the dial. So that's kind of very Japanese in that way. But you know, it's not that bad. It, you know, depending on the angle, it lines up pretty good. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. But again, it does sound a bit more tinny. Comparing again here to the BFK, which is a watch that I think, you know, it's quartz, so it's not for everyone. Some people don't like it, but I think this is a watch that punches way above its weight, just in terms of how solid it is and the build quality, and also the, you know, the bezel is just super nice and smooth and precise. It's just excellent. So yeah, I do think the BFK kind of feels a bit higher quality in terms of just, you know, the bracelet and the bezel, and comparing, you know, to the SKX, yeah, also this is also very nice. Yeah. Size-wise, again, you know, being new to the Monster range, it's not huge. It doesn't feel bigger than an SKX even, which of course also wears fairly small. So really anyone can wear it, and it looks very nice and premium. I think, you know, the size, the actual size is 42 millimeters. It doesn't look that big. It looks, you know, most dive watches with a thick bezel end up looking a bit smaller. Yeah, this is just a great size. I also, on the first time, noticed that while most of the case is brushed, these actual indentations here, kind of like revolver type, you know, indentations here are brightly brushed, as is the edge of the top edge of the bezel is also polished, so that catches the light nicely. Where the top then, of course, is a brushed finish. So overall, yeah, very nice, and yeah, it's just I also like the surrounds of the applied markers when they catch the light. Maybe we can do that. Guess not. Where's the light? Yeah, I think the markers are very nice, and of course the loom is great, but it's great on any Seiko diver. So I will say for the Cyclops, the hands do completely obstruct it. So at times when it's like, you know, 2:15, 3:15, there's a lot of, you know, the Cyclops interferes a little bit with reading the time. So there's that. But overall, I think I'd rather have the Cyclops than not. It's something different, and it just looks very nice. So, all right. No need to. I've spared you all unboxing, because I don't really know why people do that on the internet. It comes in a box, yay! So you'll be pleased to note. The box is actually perhaps the most substantial from any Seiko that I've seen. It has the, you know, booklets, tags. It actually does this. It has this sort of spring mechanism, which I've never seen in a Seiko box, because they tend to be a lot more flimsy. But this one does this, so that's nice. So yeah, I think if you have a chance to pick this up, this is just great. I'll leave a link in the description below showing where I bought the watch. It's out of Singapore. It was shipped very promptly. Nice people. I had some chat with the customer support lady. And yeah, prompt shipping, arrived, you know, 2 days later here in Thailand, so international shipping. I think they have free shipping in the US even, so, and it should arrive by DHL very reliably. So actually I can recommend the seller as well. So link in the description. Okay, thank you very much. I think I've rambled on long enough. It's not really a watch channel, of course, so you know, no need to like, subscribe, but you know, if you have any comment or question, please ask. You know, I'll do check in the comments, and maybe you know, I can answer a couple questions. Thank you very much for watching.